What's up guys, it's Hubs, and this video is going to be on Magress level 3. So my units here are Anima Altor using a Providence Ring and a Fake Stone, Darvan Shell, Anima Type using Elder Hat and Dandelga. We got an Anima Narza using Alexida, followed by an Anima Arden using a Malice Jewel, and finally it's going to be my Anima Yulkina using a Dravis and Izzur's Guide. Guys. Yeah, so these are all basically like some of the best spheres you can get in the game and some of the strongest units you can get in the game that work extremely well together. This is going to be a guaranteed walk in the park run. It's just going to be a matter of time. The sustain for BB gauges and healing is just too optimal. So I'm actually going to use my friend's Yokina here because it's up, why not? And I'm going to replace my Yokina with somebody. I don't know who yet. Yeah, but even though my Yokina has better spheres and whatnot, I've got a friend Yokina up, so use her as a friend leader for the 25% attack boost and 20% reduction to BB gauge, which is basically just going to make BB easier and easier and easier. So I'm going to throw out my Yokina, and I think I'm going to bring... Who would be a good fun unit? Maybe Dilma? I think I've got 3 Dilmas. Oh, maybe Zelnite. I think Zelnite's probably a good idea. My Zelnite's Sphere Frogged anyways. Yeah, I'm gonna use Zelnite. This is gonna give me the huge boost to BC, HC, Zel, Karma, etc. And Zelnite inherently is very strong because his SBB and BB both fill the BB gauges of your own units, and then increases BC drop and fill everything still as well. So it basically just makes Zelnite extremely good leader to use in these kind of sustained parties, and as an asset himself because of his own BB fill abilities. So the idea of this party is... What do I want to do first turn? I'm going to Fujin Pop my Narza. I'm going to proc Narza. In my opinion, Narza is potentially better than Darvan Shell as a damage mitigator in terms of BC generation. Because Narza generates an average of, what was it, 4 to 6? So, or I don't know, I thought his average was 5.5 BC fill. Oh yeah, I think it's 5 to 6. So an average Narza generates 5.5 BC when you get hit, and if your own team is getting AoE BB'd, everyone's BB gauge is going to fill quite a bit. It kind of feels like Lily Mata leader style, whereas Darvan Shell, against like a single enemy unit, he's not actually generating that much BC even though he does damage. And even though he does damage, he doesn't really do that much damage. So in my opinion, Narza is potentially a lot better than Darvan Shell given the right situation, and this is one of the situations where I think Narza really shines, and I think it shines even more when you use them in conjunction. So instead of running 2 Darvan Shells, you run a Narza and a Darvan Shell, and you get like best of both worlds. You can throw out Lily Mama, who does absolutely no damage, and you can still sustain full BB gauges basically every turn. I mean, ideally, I could have easily swapped out Zelnite and my friend Yokina, and I could have brought 2 Maxwells and one-shot everything, but this just makes it pretty easy as well. So I'm going to go through some of the spheres that I'm using. So as you saw before, my Altor was using a Fake Stone and a Providence Ring. So Providence Ring was the first reward from Trial of the Gods, and it's basically a Medulla gem, I think, or it's not Medulla gem, it's like a leg 1 gem, except HP is only increased by 20%, 25%, so it's pretty close. But I'm using it instead of a leg 1 gem because so Altor has an ability called Taunt, and Taunt makes it so if an enemy does a single target attack, they focus Altor and only Altor. You can see right now all the enemy units that are doing single attacks, they're focusing Altor. And Altor, his SBB already gives him like a 210% defense boost, plus damage mitigation. He is like a solid tank. And what Providence Ring does is it gives you good base stats, and then on top of the good base stats, you also get you return damage when you're hit as well. So what happens when you return damage? See, the Magress just took 89 damage. It also drops like a very small amount of Brave Crystals, like 1 or 2, depending on the drop check of Altor. But to me, all it is more BB fill. So if my Altor gets focused a lot in one turn because of Taunt, he's going to end up dropping maybe 5 to 10 BC, probably more like 3 to 5 on average, but it's still BC generation. And then he's also using a fake stone, which generates another 5 BC per turn for him. So yeah. And then Narza is using Alexida because Narza has one of the highest drop checks in the game at 32. So you give Alexida, that doubles to 64. On top of that, it gives, I mean, 30% increase to HP, wreck, and then Narza heals every turn as well. So keeping him alive is a lot easier. And especially in this dungeon, because Narza's light type, this Magress is going to do crazy amounts of damage against my Narza. And then next up, I got my Darvan Shell. He's using Elder Hat and a Dandelga. So Dandelga is the Vargas Legend Vortex Sphere, and it gives you that 30% increase to attack and HP, and gives you 1 BC fill per turn, which is good because, I mean, Darvan Shell can always use more BC as he's a damage mitigator, and you want his SBB up as often as possible. I mean, some builds people run or squads, Darvan Shell like usually has regular BB up every couple turns, but in this build it's very, very easy to get Darvan Shell to have SBB every turn. Or it's not easy, but it's more probable, and there's other ways to bring it up as well. Okay, next up I got Arden here, and Arden's actually kind of a unique pick for this Magress dungeon itself. And this is because Arden actually buffs light and dark type, which means the light buff is going to make all my guys do more damage, elemental advantage damage. And then Arden himself is quite strong, and he has that 30% chance that Magress's attack will drop by 50%. So it's kind of like an extra little damage mitigation sometimes. It's not much, but it's there and it's going to help. Here I made the mistake. I didn't use my Altor's taunt, so my Yolkina, my Narza got focused, and I'm not sure if I had damage mitigation on. I don't remember. But whatever the case was, I mean, I should have had Altor damage mitigation on, and for whatever reason, I don't think I did. I forgot, and I could have easily had them on. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were both like at least had their BB. I just didn't use it because I was like, I'll just wait. No big deal. And then I had my friend's Yolkina. I forgot what sphere this friend Yolkina had. Maybe it was like a leg one or something. Normally I run like Dravis and Azura's guys or something on Yolkina, and that's just going to give her, Dravis is like, I would say mandatory on Yolkina because it prevents her from getting inflicted by negative status ailments, which means when everyone else in your party is inflicted with negative status ailments and you have Yolkina up, because she takes 18 BC to fill her heal, she is by far, in my opinion, the best healer in the game. 18 BC, you cut that down with Azura's guide to however much less that gives, and then the fact that you have Narza, you have everyone else just like feeding her BB all the time. Basically Yolkina will have heal every single turn, which makes her, in my opinion, the best healer in the game. And she has really high stats to boot as well. And then finally I have my own Zel Knight, which, as I explained earlier in the beginning of this video, he's just absolutely amazing in so many situations. For a leader, he's just increasing that HC and BC drop, which actually come in very useful because although Yolkina is in my opinion one of the best healers in the game, if all my units are at like 1000 HP, her heal will not heal everyone to full. So you supplement that with HC drop, and Zel Knight does increase that with both his leader skill and his SBB, and then with that you'll have everyone healing to full, even though Yolkina didn't finish everyone's health with her heal. And then as a leader, Zel Knight's not always the best pick. I mean, ideally, if you're going for damage, I'd be running 2 Maxwells here, and I probably would have one-shot Magress with ease. But the point here is to ban myself from using Maxwell and seeing the potential difference or outcome I can get with this squad. And as you can see, like, so long as I activate BBs and I'm not greedy, like, you know, don't always wait for SBB. Like right now, this Altor, like, he's just getting his SBB every turn because he has Taunt on and Magress has to focus him. So, I mean, having Taunt up every turn is not really a big deal, especially with Narza as well. I mean, in my opinion, and solely my opinion, I think Lily Mama can be thrown to the side now. She is no longer the king of BC generation. I think Narza easily replaces her, especially the fact that he, on average, Lily Mama gives, I think, 9 BC, whereas Narza gives 5.5, which is plenty enough, especially because now you have 2 damage mitigators, so you can swap off between both Narza and Darvan Shell, whereas with Lily Mama, even though you had the 9 BC fill when hit, you only had 1 damage mitigator. So, in my opinion, she's gone. Narza is a king right now. But anyways, I just got my Black Lance right now, so let's check it out in my items in town. And it's a pretty good sphere. 30% to HP defense, gives you 5 BC when you hit, and HP absorption as well. So it is a pretty good sphere. It definitely has its uses. Yeah, but that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.